I'm Susan Heltemus, and welcome to Everyone Counts, the 2010 Census, an AM TV special. Today, we're going to attempt to inform our viewers about the importance of the 2010 Census and its impact on Montgomery County. As a bit of historic perspective, the U.S. Census was established in the Constitution, Article 1, Section 2, and it mandates a head count every 10 years of everyone residing in the United States, Puerto Rico, and the island territories. The first U.S. Census took place in 1790. The U.S. Census Bureau is required to submit state population totals to the President, Obama, by December 31st of this year. To begin our conversation, we are joined by Sylvia Ballinger, a media specialist for the U.S. Census at the Philadelphia Regional Census Center. Welcome to Montgomery County, Sylvia. It's nice to have you with us today.
Thank you for having us.
Well, Montgomery County, let's just begin here in Montgomery County with the most basic of all questions, and that is, what's so important about participating in the census?
Well, the census is really the cornerstone of American democracy. You mentioned we conduct this count every 10 years. So think about over the course of 10 years, the nation's population changes. And so this is a once-in-a-decade snapshot of telling us what America needs. People don't realize this, but more than $400 billion is handed out each year by the federal government to state and local governments, and that's all based in part on census data.
Well, there seems to be a great deal of misinformation regarding the questions that are going to be on the census form. Can you describe the information that's being collected this year on the 2010 form?
Sure. What's different this go-round from 10 years ago is that the questionnaire, it's a short form. So literally, there are 10 short questions that'll take people about 10 minutes to fill out. And so we ask that they receive it when they receive it in their mailbox, actually the week of March 15th to March 18th, to take the 10 minutes, answer the 10 questions, and mail it right back. The only thing we're asking for are 10 basic questions: your name, sex, age, date of birth, Hispanic origin, household relationships, and whether or not you own or rent your home. We make it a lot easier this go-round. So the best way to ensure and the most efficient way for everyone to participate in the 2010 census is to answer those 10 questions and mail it right back to us.
And there are a lot fewer of them this year than in the past, as you alluded to.
Oh, a lot fewer questions. We have now what's called the American Community Survey. That is what replaced the long form that you saw a decade ago. And the American Community Survey is a survey that's done monthly, which gives a much bigger, detailed account of housing, economics, and really all those socioeconomic statistics that we're looking for.
Well, can you explain a little bit of the process that's gone on to get us to this point of the data collection?
Sure. We had an operation late last spring called address canvassing. And during address canvassing, census field representatives went out to each house in Montgomery County to verify the address, and they validated the address. So therefore, that address then gets geocoded into our system, and so we now know where every person should be sent a 2010 questionnaire. And that's how we get to this point today.
And what is going to happen to this data that once it's collected, what is it used for?
Well, again, as I stated before, the data is used to really determine the resources that a community needs. The primary reason we need everyone, residents and non-residents alike, to fill out the 2010 questionnaire is because that person is utilizing resources in the community. So if we don't have an accurate count of how many people are residing in that community, then the dollar amounts that we give to state and local governments will not go to that particular household.
Well, I received a letter last week stating that I was going to get the form and to complete it. So, does everyone who got such a letter fill out the form then?
Well, that's what's called an advance letter. And the reason we set an advance letter is because our research shows that it helps to increase overall participation. So for every 1% increase in that mail-back response participation, we're saving taxpayers about $85 million. So yes, in fact, we do say it has proven to aid in that increase. Now, you might think you must be sleeping under a rock not to have heard about the 2010 census with our ads, with various promotional materials, with all the outreach efforts our partners are doing. Well, in fact, there are many people who have not heard that the census is here. So it's vitally important that that advance letter goes out.
You talk about the advertising. This year, there seems to be a lot more of it. There's mockumentaries, as they call it, with stars. Last night, I heard a rapper. There are print ads like this one that was in the Parade magazine. And then there's advertising that's geared at specific ethnic groups. I can't remember this kind of advertising in the past. Is it special this year? Are you doing more of it?
Yes, the Integrated Communications campaign is an all-encompassing campaign that includes our partnership support, that's earned media, public relations, that's census in schools. That's about a $300 million campaign. Within that is a $133 million paid advertising campaign. And you're right, we're reaching out more than ever across ethnicities because our media strategy is to reach people where they live, where they work, and where they play. And we have found that this outreach, again, it's going to increase and aid in the participation and upping, which we hope, the mail-back response rate.